Hello and welcome back to another episode of Inside the Asperger Studios. Are you somebody looking for a life coach or even a business coach who's a little bit more intuitive than the rest? Well, my next guest is just that. She's a business coach and a life coach. She's also autistic and ADHD. So she's got a little bit of an edge, but she's also very much intuitive. So sit back, relax, and grab your favorite beverage, and let's learn more about her. See you there.
I wanna believe in the truth, but only see what I'm shown. Got the freedom to choose, but can't decide on my own. Follow what the group is thinking, bottle up my intuition till it's popping up.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Inside the Asperger Studios. Today I'm joined with Morgana Marie. Welcome to the show, Morgana.
Thank you, Reid. Yes, welcome. Glad to see you here. Thank you for having me on.
So why don't we start off with, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, I would say I'm a multidimensional being. I wouldn't class myself as anything in particular. I would say that I am creative, I'm intuitive, I'm empathetic. I really enjoy people. I love working with people. Sometimes I need my time and I don't want to be around people. It can change. My energy changes all the time. I'm always working on myself and do lots of personal growth. I'm a business owner, a partner, and a mum of a cat, which I love and adore. And I'm based in Wolverhampton in the UK.
All right, so now you are autistic and ADHD. When were you diagnosed?
It was more of a not necessarily diagnosis, but it was. I remember going to the doctors over the last 2 years, and I said, "Look, I've noticed patterns that I've had for years, like this and this and this, and I keep, learning and looking at like ADHD, and there's autistic people around me, ADHD people around me, and I just keep getting all of this awareness." And I went to the doctors and I said, "Look, I really need some." Confirmation here. And I told her everything that was going on. I actually believe I got misdiagnosed many years ago with depression when I should have got diagnosed with autism. But hey ho, that would have saved me a lot of pain and heartache and challenges. And she said, "Well, by the looks of things and what you said, yeah, you have ADHD. You have ADHD and you're autistic." So that was kind of the confirmation that I needed. I'm still in referral process for this. Well, I know that I have ADHD and autism. It's pretty obvious. I also have dyslexia. And I wouldn't be surprised if I have dyspraxia as well,
Hmm.
considering I drop things all the time and walk into things and have bruises, just from banging into things. It's just a lot of learning, a lot of awareness over the last few years. So yeah, more of a later thing.
Now, when before you got diagnosed, did you kind of feel like you were on the outside looking in, as most of us are?
Yeah, I was always searching. I was always like, there must be more. There must be something else. Like, I'm not scraping the surface of what there is here. And I don't know how I actually manage a lot of things in life. I look back now and I know a lot of it was like where I was masking and I was really like trying to just be normal and fit in with everyone else. And it's only now that I realize, like, finally I can actually be myself and I don't have to mask anymore. That like wow, like I don't have to drain, my energy isn't drained anymore. And I'm out now on the inside looking out rather than the outside looking in. And finally, there's this sense of peace and ease and just like more love and acknowledgement for myself rather than like self-hatred and judgment and feeling like I shouldn't really exist, that wrongness we go through.
I
So
mean, such a true statement. When you get your diagnosis, I mean, people feel like it's such a relief because before we're diagnosed, we kind of, like you said, we kind of pretend we're something we're not. And we're
yeah,
using all this energy pretending. And then by the time we get home, we're exhausted.
completely, completely. you end up hanging out with the wrong people. I mean, I ended up being in the wrong relationships with many people to try and fix, heal, and save them. I would try and fit in and get my parents to understand me and try heal, fix, and save them. Multiple and times. And I finally had to stop doing that to myself and realize that I'm only here to really acknowledge me. And if people want my help, then they can ask for it. And I don't need to fit in to anyone else's expectations of what I think I should, what they think I should be. And there's a freedom in that.
I mean, I know that feeling all too well. I mean, I always have the tendency to want to help without people asking for the help. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you've gotten that feedback where people say, "Hey, I don't need your help, leave me alone." I've lost friends because of that, because they sit there and they tell me their story, and I'm like, "Well, you should be doing this, this, this." And they're like, "How dare you tell me that? It's rude." And I'm like, "How is it rude?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
right."
I
And
mean,
they're like, "Don't talk to me anymore." I'm like, "Fine."
yeah. It's interesting. I've been reflecting on that recently, where, having discernment about how to be a friend, how to be a
Mhm.
partner, how to be a healer, who to coach, like what not to, it's not something that comes very natural because we want to help people. And we see that, we see where people are requiring that support, but they've got to be willing to receive that. And if we lose people from that, then really it's their loss. And yeah, we move on and find people that we do resonate with and that are willing to receive.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you feel that those of us who are autistic should stick with only those who are autistic, should date those who are autistic?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think there's a lot to learn for embracing difference, and we have to have a certain level of understanding and of relatability in a way. I can't imagine myself going out with someone that isn't neurodiverse, autistic, what, because I would be very bored very quickly, and I get bored as it is very quickly. I have an ADHD, I can imagine being with someone that doesn't sort of light up those parts of me that need lighting up. So that's my perspective on it. But I don't think we should rule out anyone really, because we can all learn something, we can all grow from each other. So that's what I think. What about yourself? What do you think about that?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question to answer,
Yeah.
because when you're autistic, we kind of gravitate towards each other.
Yeah.
When we make a friend, we hold on to that. But you kind of are right in one sense that in a relationship, you do want more.
Yeah.
And if you're dating someone that's similar to you in disability and in life, it'll get boring fast.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know I've talked with people who actually, one is autistic and one is ADHD, and they're like, it's just a crazy kind of relationship, because you're trying to balance the two.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that all the time. My partner, I mean, we've only been together around 6 months and he's still learning. And, 1 minute I can be like, have this choice, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the next minute it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that anymore. We do this. And it must be so frustrating. So frustrating, but there's so much compassion and like non-judgment, just it's that's really important to have that in a relationship. It's actually what
Mhm.
allows a relationship to continue to grow, like when you have that understanding. But it does feel like a bit of a battlefield sometimes, where you're just like, autistic person here needs routine, needs structure. ADHD person really needs to like have adventure and spontaneity and to do different things all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know when they were talking about it, one of the things they tell me is it's the battle of like them leaving the cabinet doors open and not remembering to close them, or leaving things out
Yes,
and
I do
forgetting to put
that.
them away.
Yeah, I do that. I leave the doors open and, leave white glasses in the sink and things like that. I don't do it all the time, just sometimes. Sometimes I just don't even have the capacity to do it. And I'm like, I can't be asked. I can't be bothered. And then I'll come back to it and then I'll just like clean the whole house. It's like this non-capacity to then have massive amounts of energy to do it all. It's so unpredictable.
Now, do you feel at times your autism or your ADHD overwrites each other?
In what sense? How do you mean?
In ways like when you're like thinking or trying to process, or you're in a situation, you get more forgetful or you get more focused, or your ADHD makes you like totally hyper and you can't focus at all, or your autism just sits there and makes you just go, I can't be in this situation anymore. And your ADHD is like, nah. And you're like, but this is overriding you. I need to
Yeah,
get out of here.
yeah, all the time. All the time. For example, if I go to the gym, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to the gym. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to do something else. And I find that really challenging because for me, trying to have a routine or structure with the gym is quite important for my health and well-being. But when I'm getting bored and I want to go on to the next thing, you're not really working towards a goal, and then I find myself getting in a bit of a frustration spiral with myself,
Hmm.
and then you go into judgment, and then you're into like wrongness, and then it starts all over again, and it's really challenging at times, actually.
Now, what kind of tools do you use to help you manage your ADHD?
So I use Theta Healing. Now, Theta Healing is an energy work tool that enables me to be able to connect in to myself and be present in the moment and change my beliefs. I've actually done a lot of work on changing my beliefs about ADHD and autism, and really does bring so much more ease into my life. I also use breath work, and photography is a great tool for me because it enables me to be able to channel my creation and my ideas and into something meaningful rather than just have all this creative energy that I don't know what to do with it. So yeah, I do have different tools that I use on a daily basis to manage it. I used to be on antidepressants years ago, many years ago, and it just kind of repressed me even more and just numbed me out even more. I was really unhappy. And as soon as I came off that, all my creativity, and I mean, it was chaos at first, but I've kind of learned to embrace the chaos more and not to sort of avoid it or push it away so much now. Um, yeah, and it's helped me to sort of manage my like awareness, like my psychic awareness and things a lot more because I'm so aware of everything. I tend to manage it a lot easier now than I used to, that's for sure.
Now, with your ADHD, do you have running thoughts?
All the time. It drives me insane.
And
But
how
it's
do
not
you
just my
manage it?
thoughts.
How do you manage it? Because I know everyone's got their
Yeah.
own approach to managing running thoughts, from writing them down to recording them to putting them aside in a journal and then getting back to them later. How do you handle it?
Yeah, I really use my discernment and I'm like, okay, I have this thought and I kind of talk myself through it. So I kind of coach myself through it. I'm like, okay, so I have this thought, I have this belief, this is what I'm feeling. And I literally ask, like, who does it belong to? Because actually a lot of the time these thoughts, feelings and emotion or this belief isn't even mine. It's just something I'm aware of with someone else. And then when I actually ask that question, like things lighten up and I'm like, oh, I feel better. It's not mine. And if it is mine, then I sit with it and be with it and try to kind of reframe it if it's a negative thought pattern.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't write things down. That takes too much of my energy. I can't be bothered with that. So I just speak it out, talk it out, even to myself. Yeah.
Now, do you have any sensory issues?
Oh my God, yeah. I do. I can go into a place and everything is so loud. You know, the glasses, the speaking, people speaking, and hear the road. Um, and I used to struggle a lot more years ago. I think it's getting more. The more I work on myself, it's like the more aware I am. So it actually gets sometimes worse. So I have to expand my energy out rather than sort of wanting to shrink myself and contract and go into this kind of like, oh, which is quite painful. I have to just be like, kind of meet the noise where it's at and then try and expand my energy out, which is a great, that sort of tool that I use as well. But yeah, it's definitely a lot stronger, more intense than it ever has been.
Right. Now, do you have a hyper focus?
I do have hyper focus, which is a great gift, I think.
What
Not
is your
always.
what is your hyper focus? Or should I say, what is your special interest?
I love editing. So with my photography, I could just love getting home and putting all the pictures on the computer and just like editing like crazy until like 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'll just sit and I'll just edit and edit and edit. And I could be there for hours and I've not even moved, which is sometimes not always good. You know, I need to move the body. Um, but yeah, I will write content, you know, for my business and just like literally channel all this content and write and write and write and write. And then I've not had a break. And I realized, right, I need to have a break now. Let's have a break now. But I could be at it for hours.
Now, I know a lot of us who have ADHD and ASD have issues with sleep. Are you one of those people?
I Yeah, I can be. It takes a bit of a while for me to settle down and relax because my brain is so active at night. Um, I sleep well, but it's getting up in the morning. That's the challenge. That's hard for me. I don't find it easy to just jump out of bed in the morning at all.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your business and what you do.
Sure. So I work with neurodiverse and sensitive business owners who find it hard and challenging to embrace their gifts and abilities because people who are neurodiverse and autistic and ADHD, as you know, we have incredible superpowers and abilities. So I help them to actually step into that, believe in themselves, show up, and create a business that works for them, not for anyone else, but it has to work for them. So as an intuitive, I help my clients reframe their thought processes, their beliefs about themselves, about what they can and can't achieve in their businesses, and yeah, help them execute and make decisions and be sharper in their decision making, and also make an impact and income whilst doing it.
Now, how did that all come to be? What made you realize this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I've had my business for around 16 years now, and I couldn't ever go back to a normal job. Like a normal job just doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for a lot of neurodiverse people. And I realized entrepreneurship was the route for me, the path for me. And I didn't have like a coach and a mentor and tools like when I first started. I just kind of threw myself into the deep end. As you like to say, step outside your comfort zone and do it right. And you know, 16 years later, I've built a business. But for many other people, that doesn't come as easy, and it doesn't come easy to kind of just do that. And it hasn't been easy. That half hasn't been an easy process. So I believe we all need a mentor. We all need that coach and guide to support us on the way. If I'd have had a coach and mentor many years ago, I would have probably been a lot further on, and I wouldn't have had to go through all those challenges and struggles and wanting to sort of burn out and kill my business in the process and all these challenges that come up. So that's why I do what I do. And I honestly believe that people who are neurodiverse, highly sensitive, have massive gifts and abilities that the world really needs to make this world a better place. So that's why I love doing that.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head when you said that normal jobs aren't for most of us who are neurodiverse because the world isn't made for us. It's not made for the way we think. People aren't
No.
taught how to deal with us.
No.
This is why you find a majority of us doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And one of the hard things is the world is made for those who are just one disability, autism. But
Yeah.
if you're autism, ADHD, OCD, dyslexia, and anything else, you have so many things working against you,
Yeah.
it makes it hard to focus in the job force.
Oh my God, it completely does. And there's so much stigma, and there is um so much restriction on how you show up, what you should look like, what you should say, how
Hmm.
you should dress. Like, it just doesn't work. We don't work like that. We don't like being told what to do. We don't want to be, told how we should dress, how we should show up, what we should speak like. We just want to be ourselves. We're creatives, we're innovators, we're intuitives. We're here to make a difference. And so we actually are the leaders of the world. Hello, everyone out there who, judges that. Start looking at and actually acknowledging the greatness of us, because it's time. Um, and actually our difference and our entrepreneurship and our ideas and our uniqueness is so much of a contribution. And people need that.
I mean, you hit it on the head. One of the hardest things for us to do is understand when a neurotypical is talking to us because our minds are so logical and thinking that we don't understand 90% of when our boss gives us a directive to do something, it's never 100% what our minds can comprehend. And it's like, and if we ask even to re-explain it, they get offended.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
like, what don't you understand? And we'll come back with everything and they'll be like, why you here then? If you don't understand how I'm explaining this for you to do this. I would love to give somebody my mind and get, okay, I want you to live a day in my shoes. See how my mind thinks, how I feel every day.
Yeah.
And and then let them see, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, I hear you with that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's so important. Like, try and step into our shoes and see, how we actually function, and see it from that lens, because people are too quick to judge and too quick to conclude and decide that we're not capable, and we're not able to do things. It's actually
Mhm.
not the case. If people understand, autism more, ADHD more, then there would be so much more connection and collaboration, and
Mhm.
teamwork and coming together. And yeah, there's just lack of education and awareness still so much to this day.
I mean, one of the hardest things is explaining to somebody why we wind up exhausted and burnt out at the end of the day. And the best terminology way of describing it is what what we are doing literally, what masking literally is we are constantly monitoring every thought and action in our heads. And the minute we slip is that minute we get caught. And it's just like, you said what? I'm gonna have to write you up for that. And they're like, I beg your pardon? I didn't say anything wrong. And then it's just like, and then we come home and they're like, family's like, why are you so exhausted? And they don't understand. It's because we have been constantly monitoring everything and it exhausts us, but try to pretend to be something we're not.
Oh, 100%, always. And it's just this way of like that we've been almost conditioned and taught to fit in to what's expected in society. Whereas on the flip end of that, when we write in the script, well, the gift that comes with that is honesty, transparency, being able to tell someone how it is. Not everyone's willing to receive that, but the people that are, there's something in it for them. So I think it's important for us also to learn that, don't take it personally or personalize it if someone can't receive it, but also like be willing to still continue being transparent, honest, and to the point and direct, because actually direction and directiveness in that way is often really powerful, and people need that as well. So yeah, but yeah, it can be very exhausting to sort of continue to mask all the time.
Mhm. Now, why don't you tell me a little bit about your coaching and what people get from that?
Yeah, I've worked with some wonderful people, creatives, photographers, coaches, healers, you name it. And it's a beautiful relationship actually and partnership that we go through together. And not only do you get my full honesty and transparency and empathy and understanding, compassionate, which are great things, but you do just get this true, I show up. Yeah, I show up for my client as much as they show up for themselves. So I'm here to tell you how it is. I'm here to help you in the most precise way I can. I'm not perfect, I'm not an expert in everything, but I'll tell you how it is and I'll intuitively channel what is required in the moment. And yeah, clients have said they feel completely empowered and able to take on, their life and their goals and achieve them with greater ease and speed. And yeah, I'm like a kind of Ferrari to success in a way, but not just success for just success sake. Success could be I've managed to get pregnant finally after years of the doctors telling me I couldn't. It doesn't just have to relate to like business owners and their like income. It's fulfilling people's like desires and needs in life. And I honestly believe that anything is possible. And so I show my clients possibility rather than just solving problems or trying to fix things. This is about a world of possibility and showing them a different way.
Okay. Now, you mentioned something earlier. You said you used Theta Healing as one of your tools. What exactly is that?
Yeah, Theta Healing is a energy work meditative tool. So basically, how it works is I guide the client into the theta brainwave state. So when you're in your theta brainwave, that's when we can access your beliefs and your memories and your genius, your creativity, and all the things that are kind of locked away that need to be accessed if you want to expand your life and grow and create and generate. And the only way we do that is if we guide you into that theta brainwave state where you can access all of that. And it's just very gentle, it's very soothing, it's fast, it's easy. And yeah, it's been founded by Viana Stibor, who is an American-based energy healer. She helped many people heal from things like cancer and infertility issues, and she just has an amazing story. So I learned of her. Been a practitioner for years and years. It changed my life, and so I use this tool to help my clients.
Now, what is actually involved for the client? What do you do for them? What do you do? And once they get to that stage, where do they go from that point on?
Yeah, what do? I help them to see themselves because a lot of the time people walking around, living life and they're not really fully being themselves, they're not seeing themselves, they're not seeing or acknowledging their genius, their brilliance. And I really help. I'm the mirror. I believe I'm like a mirror. I shine the mirror to my clients so they can truly see who they are and what they're capable of achieving. And I give them the key basically to create that and make it happen. So yeah, they have reported to me feeling like so much more elevated, more self-aware, more conscious of their beliefs, more connected, more present in their life, more empowered and inspired, and yeah, able to achieve their goals from greater ease and speed without struggle, without self-sacrifice, without like having to take years and years and years to get there. Like I really, what would take someone 10 years to achieve something, we can do it in 2 or less. You know, it doesn't have to take years and years and years to achieve what you want to achieve.
I mean, part of the problem is, I think, Like you said, people will walk around with these blocks in their mind and they need to get rid of them. And because a lot of times we are blocked from our true potential and
Yeah.
we think we can only accomplish so much in our life. If that, it's like if you could use more than 20% of your mind's processing power, what you can achieve in a whole would be so much greater than the sum.
Oh, it's amazing. This way, it's like it activates something in your brain to the point where, you could be walking around thinking, oh, I want to really start a photography business, but you've got a camera and you bought all the things and you've done all the things and you've got all the stuff and you can do it. But it's sat there, the camera sat there for years, or the business is sort of sat there and you're on the fence about it. And it's just about making that shift and finally picking up that camera, finally doing that thing, and then executing it and being able to feel confident and happy that you're doing it and you're achieving. And yeah, it's ultimate fulfillment. And these blocks don't have to take, like I say, years and years to clear. It's fast. It's actually really fun as well.
Hmm. Now you have a photography business. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do. So I specialize in working with neurodiverse and other unique businesses, people who want to share something different with the world. I have such a passion for highlighting and capturing people's true energy and their essence, so who they truly are on a soul level, the soul of their business, the soul of them. And that's where I use my intuition to do that. So that's one of my autistic great abilities, is the ability to see someone, see them more than they see themselves, and then capture those images, show them those images, and they're like, wow, I'd never actually seen myself like that before. And so, yeah, it's helping them show up, shine, and be visible, which is incredible.
I mean, first of all, God bless you for what you do because there are not many companies out there that want to help and take advantage of those who are like us, who are neurodiverse, and say, hey,
Yeah,
let's you tap into your creative side
yeah,
because people don't realize we have two sides to us. There's our
yeah,
creative, and then there's our logical.
yeah.
And then there are those who are of us who are more creative, like you and I. And then there are those who are more logical, and those are the ones you find in businesses doing programming and all the other things. There isn't really a space for the creative end.
No, there isn't. And there isn't. And it's important to be aware that creativity flows in so many things. Like
Hmm.
someone could be a plumber or someone could be like a mechanic, but the way in which they're being creative is the way in which they can see a bonnet, they can look at it, and they know how to fix it without really even going to study it, but they know what they're doing because they just know, like a knowing, right? And they're still creative. It doesn't have to be like photography or art or things like that. Writing a book, starting painting or making clothes or just writing or even speaking, podcast. You know, a form of expression. It's a form of using your hands or your expression. It's important. It's actually, I feel, one of the biggest healers of ever is when you can truly tap into your creativity and just let it flow.
Yes, I mean, if you think about it, we are such creative minds,
Yeah.
and people don't realize it because not a lot of us tap into our creativity. And it's just when we get to that point, it's amazing what we comes out of us, what we create. Yeah, that's why I'll guarantee you a lot of artists out there are probably autistic.
Oh, 100%. Yes, always.
Painters are probably autistic. A lot of painters out there. I mean, how much you want to bet somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio, Da Vinci is probably
Yeah,
autistic somewhere down the line because of his creativity.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you look at one of the greatest minds in history, Einstein, and he was autistic.
I was about to say Einstein's way picking up on your energy, but yeah,
Yeah.
Einstein, well,
So
genius.
many of the greatest minds in the world are are, I'm pretty sure, are autistic.
They are.
And that's because they were able to somehow, some way tap into that creativity that makes us us.
Absolutely. And a higher level of consciousness, like the ability to sort of like pick ideas out of nowhere. You're just like,
Mhm.
oh, I've got this amazing idea. I don't know where it's from. I'm going to go with that. It could be like genius idea.
And,
Tesla, for example.
I mean, one of the biggest problems, though, going back to the ADHD part, is companies can't find work to keep us there long enough because what happens is we get bored after we get good.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
finish something, we do something great, and then it's just like you go up, 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 and all of a sudden you hit that plateau and then you dip. And then you
yeah,
get bored and you want to find something new to get that dopamine rush.
yes, yes. I understand what that's like. Yeah, it's I think this is why unless you have a super creative company or you have the ability to be able to bring ideas forward and be more innovative and you allow your employees to suggest ideas and be creators of their own, which you do get those companies out there, few and far between, but they are out there. I think entrepreneurship is the way to go, 100%.
You know, I was just about to say that as well. I mean, that's why I guarantee you a lot of these new companies you see coming up are started by those who are autistic with ADHD, can't find work, but they take what they do best, and they make it into a company.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you can't make it, create it.
I mean, my best friend used to say, take what you can do, take your interest and keep doing it until someone hires you to do it.
Yeah, I love that approach. Yeah, I love that approach. It's like anything though, even with photography, I stopped it for 2, 3 years. I lost my motivation with it. I was getting bored and I was going through some challenges at the time with everything. And I just thought, I can't do it anymore. So I stopped. Actually, my camera broke. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a break. And then I've only just started to restart my photography again. And now I've got a completely new, fresh perspective. I've got a new energy. I feel like I'm in a new space and it's time. So we also, sometimes it's good to have space away from things and what we love as well, because it ends up becoming mundane. The minute it becomes mundane, you're going to kind of kill it. You'll kill your creativity that way.
Now, what advice would you give to those who are just finding out they're either autistic or they have ADHD or both and just can't find what they want to do in life?
Yeah, I would say, look, guys, pace it, be kind to yourself, take time to just be and process things because it's important to not judge yourself or try and rush ahead of the game or be too impulsive in terms of like feeling like everyone else has got it going and no, you don't, because it's actually you're on your path for a reason. So take one day at a time, ask questions. I'm a fan of asking questions. Like, for example, if I could do anything in my life, what would it be? And go from that place, tap into that. Because when you ask questions, you allow your subconscious mind to start creating, ideas, and that's when your ideas can come. But as soon as you try and force the process or you try and like, have it all figured out and worked out, that's when you're going to find struggle and it will be challenging. So yeah, questions is I'm an advocate for questions, but questions that allow your subconscious mind to expand. So I've got plenty of those if anyone needs any.
And finally, where can people find out more about you on the web?
Thank you. Yes, so I'm on my website, www.morgana-marie.com, and that's my website. I'm also on YouTube and LinkedIn as well.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Reed Miles. That was Morgana Marie, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, Morgana.
Take care. Thank you so much.